Live from New Delhi, you're watching GD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Amritpal Singh. Coming up in the next 30 minutes, Kuwait bestows the highest honor, the Order of Mubarak Al-Kabir, on Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. India and Kuwait elevate their relationship to a strategic partnership. Iran Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei dismisses the notion that Islamic Republic uses proxy forces. And the United States carries out series of airstrikes against the Houthis in Yemen. Within hours of the Houthis fired a ballistic missile at Israel. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi engaged in comprehensive discussions with Kuwait's Amir Sheikh Mashal Al Ahmad Al Jaber Al Sabah on Sunday, aiming to strengthen bilateral relations. Discussions focused on cooperation in key sectors like pharmaceuticals, IT, fintech, infrastructure, defense and security. In a significant step forward, India and the Kuwait elevated the relations to a strategic partnership. And Prime Minister Modi was honoured with the Order of Mubarak the Great Mubarak Al-Kabir, the Order of Mubarak Al-Kabir, an award by the Amir of Kuwait. This is the highest honour. The Amir of Kuwait, Sheikh Mashal Al Ahmad Al Jaber Al Sabah, accorded this felicitation of the highest national award of Kuwait. Prime Minister Modi dedicated the award to the long-standing friendship between India and Kuwait and to the Indian community in Kuwait, and also said this is an award for 1.4 billion people of India. It is the 20th international award bestowed upon Prime Minister Modi by a country. And the Indian Prime Minister also met with Kuwait's Crown Prince Sheikh Sabah Khalid Al Hamad Al Mubarak Al Sabah. Later, the Prime Minister held delegation-level talks with Prime Minister of Kuwait. They discussed various aspects of deepening ties between the two countries. India and Kuwait signed 4 MOUs or memoranda of understanding in various sectors, including defense, culture, sports, and Kuwait, of course, joined the International Solar Alliance. The MOU between India and Kuwait was signed on cooperation in the field of defense. Another MOU was signed between the two countries for a cultural exchange program for the years 2025 to 29. Both countries also signed an executive program for cooperation in the field of sports for the year 25 to 28. Besides, another MOU was signed for Kuwait's membership of the International Solar Alliance. And India's Ministry of External Affairs said that the MOU on defense will institutionalize bilateral cooperation in the area of defense.
MOU between India and Kuwait in the field of defense cooperation. This MOU will institutionalize the bilateral cooperation in the areas of defense. The key areas of cooperation would include training, exchange of personnel and experts, joint exercises, cooperation in defense industry, supply of defense equipment, and collaboration in research and development.
And in line with the close ties between India and Kuwait, both countries decided to elevate their relations to a strategic partnership. And another MOU was on Kuwait's membership on joining the International Solar Alliance was signed. Okay, Prime Minister Modi was accorded the ceremonial welcome and a guard of honor at the Bayan Palace in Kuwait. The Prime Minister was received by his Kuwaiti counterpart Sheikh Ahmed Abdullah Al Ahmad Al Sabah. Prime Minister Modi's ongoing visit to Kuwait marks a significant milestone in India-Kuwait ties, being the first visit by an Indian Prime Minister in 43 years. In a little while, the Prime Minister will be concluding his historic two-day visit to the Gulf country and shall be returning back to India. And as we told you, both sides have decided to elevate their relationship to strategic partnership.
The leaders acknowledged that the bilateral relations were progressing well and welcomed their elevation to a strategic partnership. The Prime Minister also expressed confidence that the India-GCC relations will be further strengthened under the presidency of Kuwait.
And Kuwait also joined the International Solar Alliance.
The leaders acknowledged that the bilateral relations were progressing well and welcomed their elevation to a strategic partnership. The Prime Minister also expressed confidence that the India-GCC relations will be further strengthened under the presidency of Kuwait.
And External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar said that India will not permit others to impose a veto on its choices and stressed it would act in its interests without being intimidated to conform. He was addressing an audience virtually in the Mumbai ceremony organized by South Indian Education Society, where he was conferred the 27th Shri Chandrasekhara Indra Saraswati National Eminence Award for Public Leadership.
It is the deep inherent unity of our existence that has allowed diversity to flower in our land. This should never be misportrayed as a negotiation between parts that are actually so integral. Nor can our great nation be projected as an idea. On the contrary, it is a timeless reality and an enduring feature in a changing world. Independence should also never be confused for neutrality. We will do whatever is right in our national interest and for global good without being intimidated to conform. In the final analysis, Bharat can never permit others to have a veto on its choices.
And the External Affairs Minister also said that India had shown to everyone in the last decade that it had the capabilities, confidence and the commitment to advance development across the board.
Our nation and society are poised today at a crucial juncture. On the one hand, the last decade has demonstrated that we have the capabilities, the confidence and most importantly the commitment to advance development across broad fronts. On the global stage, we have established ourselves as an independent power, but one committed to global good, especially the well-being of the global South. At the same time, however, the constraints and limitations that have long been our bane still remain in play. There are viewpoints and ideologies which are more pessimistic, divisive, and even denigrating of ourselves. As a democratic polity and a pluralistic society, today, as to the course the nation will take in the coming times, both the direction and destination would depend on our identity as a people, our convictions as a society, and our vision as a nation.
And India's Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri is in Mauritius. He visited the newly built Civil Service College, which is part of India's ongoing capacity building cooperation with that country. The Civil Service College, which is another milestone in the robust development partnership between India and Mauritius, will serve as a center of excellence in public administration in Mauritius. And India's Home Minister Amit Shah inaugurated and laid the foundation stone of various development projects worth over 660 crore rupees in Tripura's Dhalai district on Sunday. Home Minister, who is on a 3-day visit to Tripura, also visited the Bruce settlement camp at Haduklau in Tripura. During his interaction with the Bruce settlers, the minister assured the inhabitants that those who do not have Ayushman Bharat card will soon get their own cards. The minister also urged the youth to take good quality education to prosper in life. Okay, in other news, retired military dogs known for their loyalty and service to the nation are finding new homes where they can continue to spread love and joy. On the 246th Remount Veterinary Corps Day, the Indian Army gifted 12 retired military dogs to Asha schools for special children and compassionate citizens. This initiative highlights the Indian Army's deep respect for its brave four-legged soldiers who have served the nation selflessly. And still to come on this edition of DD India Live, Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni calls upon the European Union to protect its borders from threats of illegal immigration. Another major setback to TikTok, Albania bans it for 1 year.
Complex issues, hidden agendas, twists and turns, strategic games. We think all dots are linked. We just need to connect them. Join me every week as I connect the dots to unravel hidden designs in statecraft, mysteries, and decode issues that matter to you. Watch Connecting the Dots with me at these times on DD India.
You're watching DD India Live. I'm Amritpal Singh. Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei dismissed the notion that the Islamic Republic uses proxy forces. He said that in a public address on Sunday. Khamenei said that regional groups such as those in Yemen, the Hezbollah, Hamas and the Islamic Jihad are driven to fight by their own belief and faith, and Iran doesn't really need them.
The Islamic Republic does not have a representative force. Yemen fights because it has faith. Hezbollah fights because the power of faith brings it to the field. Hamas and Jihad fight because their belief forces them to do so. They do not represent us. If we want to act one day, we don't need a proxy force.
The United States military has said that it bombed missile storage facility and a command and control facility operated by the Houthis in Yemen's Sana'a on Saturday. U.S. Central Command forces said that the attack aimed to suspend the Houthi operations such as attacks against the U.S. Navy warships and merchant vessels in the southern Red Sea, Bab al-Mandeb and the Gulf of Aden. Adding further, the forces also said that it struck multiple Houthi drones and the anti-ship cruise missile over Red Sea. The attack came within hours of the Houthis firing a ballistic missile at Israel, which injured more than a dozen people in Tel Aviv Park. Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni on Sunday called for the European Union to protect its borders from threats of illegal immigration. Speaking at a press conference after an EU summit on security in Finland, Meloni emphasized that addressing illegal immigration through a purely solidarity-based approach has been a flawed strategy. She called for a more comprehensive and effective framework to tackle the issue. Albania announced a one-year ban on TikTok, the popular short video app, following the killing of a teenager last month that raised fears over the influence of social media on children. The ban is part of a broader plan to make schools safer. It will come into effect early next year. Prime Minister Edi Rama said this after meeting with parents, groups and teachers from across the country. Several European countries, including France, Germany and Belgium, have enforced restrictions on social media use for children. In one of the world's toughest regulations targeting big tech, Australia approved in November a complete social media ban for children under 16. Russian President Vladimir Putin on Sunday vowed to intensify attacks on Ukraine in response to a drone strike on a high-rise apartment block in Kazan. Speaking on the incident, Putin said that whoever tries to destroy will regret their country's actions against our country.
Whoever and however much they try to destroy in Russia, they will face many times more destruction themselves and will regret what they are trying to do in our country.
In the latest news from the ongoing conflict, Russia claimed that its forces had struck Ukrainian military ammunition depot, armored vehicles and self-propelled artillery guns on Saturday. The Russian Defense Ministry also announced the control of one more settlement in Ukraine. Meanwhile, the General Staff of the Ukrainian Armed Forces said that the military successfully repelled multiple Russian offensives. According to officials, as of Saturday afternoon, the Ukrainian forces had engaged in over 100 fights with Russian forces. And earlier on Saturday, Kyiv launched a significant drone attack on the Russian city of Kazan, located 1,000 kilometers from the border, prompting a temporary suspension of operations at the Kazan International Airport. The airport has now been reopened. Meanwhile, the Russian Defense Ministry decided to take control of Kostiantipolsk in Donetsk region of eastern Ukraine. Here's more in this report.
Experienced by Russian city of Kazan on Saturday, with 8 drone strikes targeting high-rise buildings. The strikes reportedly occurred in rapid succession, which flew into the multi-story buildings. The drones damaged buildings in Kazan with a population of more than 1.3 million people. No casualties were reported. Russia's defense ministry accused Ukraine of targeting civilian infrastructure in Kazan, adding that 6 drones were neutralized. Following the attack, Russian Civilian Aviation Authority temporarily suspended the airport operations in Kazan. Authorities have also cancelled major public events in the region. Meanwhile, in another development, Russia's defense ministry said that its troops have captured a new village near the key city of Kurakov in eastern Ukraine. Ukraine said on Friday that a Russian drone hit a Kharkiv apartment block, leaving at least 6 people wounded, while Russia blamed Ukraine for firing US-supplied rocket systems on a small town in the Kursk region, killing 5 and wounding 12 others. As the Russia-Ukraine conflict enters its 33rd month, both the sides are launching near-daily attacks with drones in an effort to exhaust and weaken each other's air defenses. Ayushi Bhatnagar's report for DD India.
Syria's new rulers have appointed Morhaf Abu Qasra as the key leader in the uprising that ended Bashar al-Assad's rule as defense minister. This is what an official source said on Saturday. Abu Qasra is a senior leader in the Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, or the HTS. That's the Islamist group that spearheaded Assad's recent ousting. The announcement follows intense discussions led by Syria's de facto leader Ahmad al-Shara on shaping the nation's military future. Prime Minister Mohammed al-Bashir vowed to rebuild the defense ministry with rebel factions as Syria begins a fragile 3-month transitional peace. Indian Film Festival honouring Raj Kapoor's legacy has kicked off in Moscow. RT correspondent Anastasia Volodina reports from the event.
From the heart of the Russian capital and across to New Delhi, the Indian Film Festival has officially kicked off in Moscow, celebrating not only the magic of Indian cinema, but the timeless legacy of Raj Kapoor, the legendary producer, film director and actor, celebrating the 100th anniversary of his birth. This year's film festival is being held at Moscow's iconic Illusion Cinema. Over 3 days, the festival will showcase 6 diverse films organised by the Indian Embassy, the Russian Ministry of Culture and other government bodies. It honours the best of Indian cinema across multiple genres. The event is a spectacle of the diverse array of national award winners, regional gems and cutting-edge independent films, all underscoring the universal power of storytelling to break through geographical, cultural and linguistic divides. The festival will also feature renowned film personalities and performers and include panel discussion on the cooperation between Russia and India in film production, where producers, studio heads and film distributors from the two nations will take part.
Most of the actors in India, those who are trained actors or even untrained actors in drama school, we all have been inspired by Chekhov, Gorky, Tolstoy. So I'm very glad to be here in Moscow for the first time.
As far as Russian cinema is concerned, it has made everything. The theories of filmmaking came from Russia. Be it Pudovkin, Eisenstein, Tarkovsky, one of my favorite filmmakers, they all came from here.
The Indian Film Festival kicked off with a vibrant opening ceremony celebrating the day 100 years ago legendary actor and director Raj Kapoor was born. The event featured the unveiling of a book honouring him titled The Master at Work, as well as screening of one of his acclaimed films and a mesmerising performance by the Moscow Conservatory Chamber Choir, all paying tribute to the enduring legacy of Kapoor's cinematic genius. Raj Kapoor's films, with their emotional depth and unforgettable music, have resonated not only with audiences in India, but transcended cultural boundaries, as his distinguished roles and direction have left an indelible mark on the world.
Indian movies have always been very popular in earlier Soviet Union, now Russia, and all Indian blockbusters, most of Indian movies are released here with Russian subtitles on a regular basis. A number of cinema halls show Indian movie very regularly. We promote that.
The Indian Film Festival salutes both the magic of Indian cinema and the enduring legacy of Raj Kapoor, proving the universal power of storytelling. Anastasia Volodina, RT from Moscow.
Now let's take a look at other stories making news today. At least 2 people were killed after a multi-story building under construction collapsed at Punjab's Mohali. Rescue operations were led by National Disaster Response Force and the Army personnel, and it continues as more are suspected to be trapped under the debris. Assam Police has launched Phase 3 operations against child marriage across the state on Saturday and Sunday. Authorities arrested 416 individuals and registered 335 cases with Child Welfare Committee. State's Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma shared the details of the operation through his social media handles, reiterating the government's commitment to eradicating child marriage. An awareness lecture along the weapon exhibition was organized for students in Jammu and Kashmir's Akhnur on Sunday. Over 300 students participated in this exhibition. The primary objective was to instill patriotism, self-discipline and awareness about the work of the Indian Army among the students. The Fit India Sunday on Cycle campaign was successfully organized in New Delhi, which is aimed at promoting fitness and and environmental sustainability. India's Sports Minister Dr. Mansukh Mandavia participated in the initiative alongside the personnel from the CRPF and the Indo-Tibetan Border Police. The campaign's objective is to inspire individuals to adopt cycling as a means to improve their fitness while contributing to a greener environment. India's Sports Minister Mandavia appealed to the citizens to make cycling a regular part of their lifestyle, emphasizing its benefits both for personal health and for environmental conservation. India's cricket team clinched the inaugural Under-19 Women's T20 Asia Cup after defeating Bangladesh by 41 runs in Kuala Lumpur on Sunday. Batting first, India relied on opener Gongadi Trisha's 52-run knock to pose a total of 117 runs in the stipulated 20 overs. In reply, Bangladesh could manage only 76 runs. Ayushi Shukla, Sonam Yadav wreaked havoc with the ball, taking 2 and 3 wickets respectively. Trisha clinched the Player of the Match award in the summit clash. She was also the player of the series with the top scorer with 159 runs in 5 innings. Well, India's public broadcaster Prasar Bharati has recently launched its OTT app called Waves. Waves provides a complete infotainment ecosystem to digital media and OTT audience. If you want to get content for free, then download Waves today. And that's it then in this newscast. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.